Hello and welcome back to my series where I hopefully teach you how to play dodgeball. This is episode 2, so if you haven't seen the first one where I go over the basics, I would recommend watching that one first. In this episode, I will be teaching you how to throw and we'll be going over some specific types of throws. At the very end, I will be reading and responding to some of your questions and comments from the other video. First of all, I see a lot of people asking for advice on how to throw, how to improve their accuracy or speed, things like that all the time. But before I give any advice, I do want to stress that whatever platform you're on greatly influences how you will throw. I've only ever played on the Oculus Quest 1, 2, and on the PC with an Oculus Quest 2 and a link cable. I use SteamVR to run my game, and if you're on PC, I highly recommend you also use SteamVR. I can't really give any specific advice for platforms like PlayStation VR, but from personal experience, I can give some advice that will relate to Quest 1, 2, and PC. For Quest 1 and 2 users, the physics are a little different, therefore you have to use a lot more force than other platforms. The best advice I can give is to act like you're throwing a dart. Aim with your arm a little more and let the leverage launch it like a catapult. If you throw as if you're throwing a dart or a football, I have found that it gives greater speed while maintaining accuracy. This also reduces the chance of you throwing a ball straight into the ground, which is a problem I see standalone players have a lot. Remember that when you throw, you kind of stop your arm at a certain point and jolt it to increase the force and make sure your ball stays in the air. For PC, it's a little more natural. You want to throw with your hand horizontally like normally, but for a better throw, over-exaggerate the throw completely. Try to follow through with your throw. Even though it does nothing, it kind of helps mentally. Instead of jolting, you want to be a little bit more flowy and let the flick of your wrist glide the ball. On PC, if you're too aggressive, the ball will either go really high up in the air or hit the ground. As with anything, practice will help you grow. I recommend trying to improve your accuracy before you improve your speed, because speed won't matter if you can't hit anything. These tips kind of apply to both walk and teleport, but I don't really play teleport all that much, so I don't have that many tips for it. But one tip I can definitely give for teleport is that you have to take a step forward to make sure you get that extra little bit of power. It makes a world's difference when you're throwing on teleport. Alright, now that we've talked a little bit about single throws, it's time to learn about doubles. It's as simple as it sounds. A double is where you throw 2 balls at once. Firstly, I recommend you change the thumbstick walk mode setting to head instead of hand. This way you won't accidentally move backwards when you're trying to throw a double. To get a more accurate double, which even I can't do most of the time, what I do is place my hands above my head like this, so that the balls are parallel with each other, and move them straight down like a catapult. Try to keep your hands as straight as possible, and following through, just like with the singles, will help you get a better mental picture. Also, you want to make sure that your speed and your power is evenly distributed throughout both of your hands, so that both balls go the same speed in the same direction. That was a garbage double. There are many different types of doubles you can learn and eventually integrate into your game. Another simple double you can try that's kind of like the basic one is the two-handed follow-up. Basically, it's like a simple double, but you throw one after the other. This is what a two-handed follow-up looks like. When you do follow-ups, it's important to try to get them right behind each other. This is the most effective. This is another variation of a follow-up called the one-handed follow-up. Another type of double that you'll see and hear about a lot is the crocodile or croc. You throw this double by throwing one underhand and one overhand. The goal is to get the balls as close as possible. This is an example of a crocodile. Very quickly, I would like to mention merges. A merge is technically a glitch, but it's been implemented into the game by players who try to do it on purpose. A merge is basically when 2 balls of a double get so close that they start merging and glitching into one another. It is not impossible to catch a merge, but it is very difficult. Any double can merge, even crocs. Before we move on, I want to share a little tip that I use when I double. If I'm throwing a basic double and I want to trip up the opponent a little bit, what I'll do is try to crisscross the balls so that they end up swapping places. It ends up throwing and catching just like a normal double, but it trips up the opponent because it kind of looks a little weird when it's in the air. So you can keep this in mind the next time you're playing a really tricky opponent. So we've covered singles and doubles, but triples aren't really my thing, so I don't have a whole lot of advice on how to triple. Also, with triples, since you're using all 3 balls, it leaves a lot of room for creativity, so it's kind of up to you to figure out what you do with all of them. Okay, now Alpaca will demonstrate some simple triples. Yay, let's all give a big round of applause to Alpaca for sharing her triples. Okay, so now that you've heard all that I have to say, I'm going to read a couple comments and comment on them. Eduardo.m227 Martinez, or Hunter if you've seen him in the live streams, says how to catch high ball and low balls. Alright, so the thing about high balls and low balls is that you generally want to avoid them at all costs. Low balls in particular will give you catch outs, and high balls could be out of your reach. High balls will generally hit your fingertips and get you out. Definitely avoid high balls if they're too high. If you can't avoid a low ball, like if it's just perfect to where it hits the bottom of your collision zone, I'd recommend trying to get down to its level as quickly as possible by crouching in real life. From there, you kind of want to sweep it back up. It's fairly natural and quick to turn your hand sideways and kind of swipe it up. I hope that helped a little. Next, Blaze Vibe says, in the next video, please add this if you can. Stop throwing dodgeballs at players who are already eliminated or on the sidelines. It's just disrespectful. I agree with this 100%. This comment's probably referring to one of the rules of dodgeball I shared in the last video, in which I said you shouldn't be toxic at all. Throwing dodgeballs, gloating, things like that, they're generally toxic, and you want to avoid that when you're playing dodgeball. So this next comment says, can I get a shout out? Alright, so I guess I'd like to give a shout out to Ugh! So if you want a question answered in the next video, make sure to leave it in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer. Speaking of which, the next episode will be about catching. Consider subscribing with notifications on so you don't miss it when it comes out. If you liked the video, why not drop a like? Let's see if we can hit 20 likes on this video. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye! In this episode, we'll be going over how to throw some, dang it, I recommend that you improve your accuracy before trying to, merges are technically a glitch in the game, but they've kind of been implemented, the angle. Popcorn. We eat it every day, but where does it come from? Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Hi, I'm Anthony Padilla, and today we'll be diving into the wonderful world of popcorn. So we've covered singles and doubles, but triples aren't really my No, because triples are garbage. Okay, so you've heard I'm gonna be juggling the whole time I do this, imagine. He says, can I get a shout out? Why not drop a like? Smash that like button. Absolutely demolish that like button. Incinerate the like button. Use your 2004 Honda Prius Toyota Mark 25 Iron Man suit to absolutely demolish 42 minutes